Everyone, and welcome to Pints and Quarts, a show brought to you by the Craft Beer Nation. We are back at it tonight, and we are going to be speaking with Eric Mitchell. He's the head brewery guy over at Heist Brewing down in Charlotte, North Carolina. But before we get into that, I want to point you guys to our different social media platforms. You can find us on Instagram at the Craft Beer Nation. You can find us on Twitter at Craft B Nation, and of course, you can find us on Facebook and Google Plus. You go and subscribe, click, like, follow, all that good stuff. We'll follow you back. So before we get into our interview, I want to introduce you guys to our panel. Hailing from Boston, y'all know him, Freddie Rodriguez. How are you doing tonight, sir?
What it do, Randy? I'm doing well. Ready to talk to Eric, see what's going down in Heist. And also, if you see me at your local supermarket, sampling the candies that got to get weighted when you check out, don't ask me why. I'm simply doing a QA for you guys and making sure it's safe. Goodbye.
If you see me sampling the candies and eating the grapes as I walk through the store, so the bag will be lighter.
Don't ask me no questions.
Don't ask any questions. Marcus Green, 20 minutes down the road from me. How you doing, brother?
Doing well, man. Baby girl came 2 weeks ago, so she is 17 days old. So that's number 3 for us. We're good to go.
Cheers.
And
For now.
Number 3 for now.
Stop it. No, we're done.
So 2 weeks, that means in 4 weeks, your wife will be pregnant again.
By the end of the show, he'll be announcing they're having a baby.
That is 100% false information. Fake news.
Fake news.
And on Pints and Quarts, but not a stranger to Craft Beer Nation. Y'all know him, the best beard in the land. Matt Hyatt, how you doing tonight, sir?
I'm well. I'm turning one of my basement rooms into Marcus's new room once his new one comes out. Gotta make room for the newborn.
Marcus,
newborn.
Randy, Marcus, Randy. We know how you roll, Hyatt.
You said it. You said it, not me. But thanks for having me on. First time P&Q, but long time listener.
I thought you were leaking new news about Randy. I'm like,
we do once.
He said
not the time or place for it.
Long time listener, first time caller. And without further ado, Eric Mitchell. Eric, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Man, I'm good. Glad to be here.
It's our pleasure to have you on, man.
All right.
So let's just get down to it. You're down Charlotte, North Carolina. How did you fall in love with craft beer? How did this love affair start for you?
That would be college. So interestingly enough, I was in hospitality management program, and they offered a class called Beverage Appreciation, and there was a guy down there that made homebrew beer, and during his like seminar, he passed around some samples, and I have not had a Bud Light or anything since that day. And he passed around just a Hefeweizen. It was just like a simple Hefeweizen that he had made, and that did it. It clicked. So I still talk to that guy to this day, like 9 years later.
That's what's up. So did that lead to you homebrewing?
Yeah, so that guy actually started the Auburn Brew Science program a little later, a couple years ago, and he's the one that taught me how to homebrew too. So he was like my mentor.
So you had a successful career on Wall Street, and then you decided to give it up and decided to go. I'm just kidding. So you were a home brewer. How did homebrewing translate to us owning? Not us, because I sure don't own Heist. But how did homebrewing translate to Heist Brewery?
Well, it was. So I came on board like 9 months in. So Kurt Hogan started Heist. He graduated from Vandy, and I'm actually the second head brewer over there. And homebrewing translated really well because I actually brought my homebrew system and started making small batch beers.
Nice.
Just in the corner over there, 10 gallons at a time, and releasing them every Sunday, small batch, not so small batch beers. And so it translated really well because within like 6 months, he had let the other guy go, and I was taking the reins on a 10-barrel system that I had no idea how to work.
So you literally brought your own tools to work when everything started.
I'll do it for free. I said, look, I'll cover the ingredients. If it doesn't sell, you're not out anything.
How was that transition from like you said, you brought your homebrew stuff over to a 10-barrel system?
It doesn't, man. Honestly, I learned real quick that I just had to like kind of start over, and yeah, I mean it doesn't. Honestly, it's kind of crazy. You think it would? You think you can just scale it right up, but nope. It wasn't like that.
Does that make you a little trepidatious about going? Because the new system you guys are going to have at the new place, is that going to be a bigger system or is it going to be the same size?
I mean, so if I knew what I know now, you've got like 4 or 5 parameters that you need to hit, and if you're hitting those, then yeah, you can scale it up. But back then, I didn't know what was important, on that kind of scale. But now we've got a checklist on things that we feel if we hit these numbers, if we hit these target numbers, then we're going to feel pretty good about what we're putting out, and feel that it's pretty consistent on, what's made us our name so far on that 10 barrel. But yeah, I mean, of course we're nervous.
Yeah.
So Marcus just said that he mentioned a new brewery. What are you guys, and what are you about to move to? What's going to be the new thing that you guys are taking?
So we're moving about 2 miles away and doing a 30 barrel production facility. So we're actually on an 8 barrel system. It's a 10 hecto. So it's 3.5 times what we're currently working on. So it's a big jump. The biggest thing is going to be like turnaround time on a brew day. It's like we're on a really antique system, if you will, and it takes a village to make a couple works during the day. So it's kind of time consuming, and the biggest thing is just going to be knocking down that time it takes to make our work.
So that is a very big jump. I mean, you guys are looking to go into a super like full scale production, I'm assuming, right, with this new facility?
Oh, I mean, I know. So 30 barrels sounds kind of crazy, right? But
to compare it to 10 hecto.
Well, yeah, I mean, and it is like, if you would have told me 4 years ago we would be getting ready to open up a 30 barrel production facility, I probably would have laughed at you. But like, we've grown so much, and in that same building that we're in, we've even, we've added 200 seats, and by doing that, we go through so much beer in house. We're lucky enough to have that problem. That really a lot of it is just to support what we've got going on existing right now. You come in, and I know a couple of you guys said you've been to Heist, but you'd be lucky to see us have more than 5 or 6 beers on tap. So it's really just kind of combating that problem. What we're looking at
expansion, going to 30 barrels, is that something you guys going to be doing, like canning line, bottling line?
Yeah, we've got a canning line set up, so we're getting ready to start commissioning and everything over there. But that's another kind of like wild card number. We don't know. It's how many cases we're going to be putting out. We're kind of shooting for that 300 to like 500 range per week, but kind of an unknown variable that really got me antsy.
Time will tell. And with your second facility, are you going to be serving as well there?
Eventually we are. So it's 2 phases. It's a pretty large facility. Brewing's taking up about 16,000 square foot out of the 24,000 square foot total. So that's phase 1. We're just trying to get our production system going. Phase 2 is going to be the bakery, the butcher shop, and the tap room.
Butcher shop.
Yeah, dude.
On my way.
Our owner really likes meats. He's a meats guy.
That's dope. Because Heist is more than a beer brand, right? I mean, it seems like that's what you guys are trying to do. It's going to be more than just beer. It's brew pub, butchery, or is butchery a word?
There's nothing that you can mention to Kurt that he won't get excited about.
What's up? So I know that you guys are friends with Aslan, because y'all did a collab a while back. I can't remember what it was called, but we've done
3 of them.
Okay, you've done 3 collabs with Aslan, and here in northern, well, not just here in Northern Virginia, but I think across the East Coast, Aslan's known for hazy IPAs, right? But they didn't necessarily set out to be known for New England IPAs or Northeast IPAs, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
they just wanted to brew good beer, and they do make really good beer outside of their IPAs. They make a really good goza. They make some stupid stouts and stuff like that. They wanted their identity to just be guys who make good beer. What is Heist's identity as a brewery? I mean, because you got some guys, an IPA brewery, and that's your thing, and they do it. And you got some guys who just bang out some killer stouts along with a few other things. What's Heist's identity?
What do you call your fans?
Heisters.
Y'all are probably in a better position than me to answer that question. I'm seeing it from a different viewpoint, and I don't dictate what we're known for. I try to make everything good, and I take as much time on a beer like an English mild as I would coming up with a 15% stout recipe. So you guys are probably in a better position, but I mean, the numbers don't lie. These IPAs that we make are they're bread and butter.
Like, there you go.
People get mad. People call us and cuss us out and tell us they ain't coming if we don't have any IPAs on. And it is what it is, man.
Eric, I would never do something like that. But the question I have, and I think people around the country want to know. I mean, not around the country, but people that live in 47 Orchid Lane in Stafford, zip code 22554. Jeez. What does it take to get a case of Blurred Up to get sent to my? No, I'm just kidding.
Man,
gracious.
Blurred Up, if you guys haven't had it, it's amazing.
Thank you, man.
I hope you have a house alarm.
I know.
It's all good.
I'll send you a case. How about that? I got your address now.
There it is.
I wrote it down.
So does the entire world.
I'm also going to drop off a couple kids. Sounds like you like them, so I'm going to drop a couple off for you, man.
Please drop off the beer. Take the kids. It's all good.
It ain't going to take one, leave one either.
Let me ask you, words. You said that the numbers don't lie. You guys push a whole bunch of the New England IPAs. There's been a lot of talk recently. Even today, I read an article. I posted an article in this one Facebook group, Nova Beer Friends, about how some people think that this New England IPA thing is a fad. They think that it's not just New England IPAs, but also what they call dessert stouts. They feel as if that's ruining craft beer. Do you have a stance one way or the other on this issue?
Yeah.
Do you want to share it with us?
Pastry stouts, let's go.
I mean, it's been a fad for 4 years now. So at what point, Jinko jeans were a fad. All right, doing the salad is not a fad. Do I?
Whoa, Throwback Thursday.
I mean, the fact of the matter is it tastes good, and beer that tastes good is not. It's going to withstand the test of time. I can promise you. I'm not worried about that. Yep. People are like, well, you're trying to build a brand on something that's going to be, a mute point in 5 years, and I don't buy it. I just don't buy it.
Yeah, the way I've described it to some people is like it's kind of like the Bruno Mars of music. Like it's something. It's mass appeal. It's something that someone can approach. Because you ask somebody back in the day, hey, you want to try an IPA? They're like, oh, I don't want that hoppy stuff. I don't want something so bitter. But if you say, hey, try this New England IPA, it's, oh man, this is really fruit forward. I can taste the galaxy hop in this. Oh, this is pineapple. I think it brings more people in than it does push away.
Yeah, I mean, it is a beer style that, like, it hits on so many facets of, the drinking population. It's dude, I can give this to like my grandmother and she enjoys it, and I can give it to, I mean, you can give it to a 19-year-old college kid and he's gonna like it too. It's 21-year-old college kid. For a minute, but it is what it is, dude. It's not going anywhere. I promise.
Is that something that you guys would potentially brew or have brewed in the past?
What is that?
Is that something that you guys have brewed or will brew in the future?
What New England style IPAs?
I'm sorry, like pastry stouts. I'm sorry.
Oh, I mean, I mean, we probably have, to be honest with you. I mean, we put Reese's in beer.
Wait, you guys did a stout. I think you were appointed at Aslan's 2-year anniversary this past year.
Imperial Maple Junkie.
My goodness. Oh my, that was the most ignorant beer I have ever. Listen, that was probably one of the best beers of the day, dude. I spent some tickets on that beer. I'll tell you that right now.
Nice, man. So yeah, I mean, that was a pastry stout, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
Maple. Huh?
I guess I don't know what a pastry stout is. So. I mean, people have been putting vanilla and coffee and cinnamon in beers for 100 years.
You said it. So that whole listen, my sentiment, what is wrong with me tonight? My sentiments are the same as the guy who wrote the article. He said that basically craft beer has always been about pushing the boundaries and exploring what craft beer can be instead of being confined to what people say craft beer is. And I think that's the beauty of stouts going into the direction of pastry stouts and the New England IPA. It's specifically American craft beer. It's always been about, going against the rules and doing things our way. And that's why American craft beer has grown to the point where it is right now. So for people to say dying these flavors are causing people to forget what beer actually tastes like and other nonsense like that, it's just that. It's nonsense because it's just the evolution of craft beer. It's not meant to be the craft beer field or whatever you want to call it is not meant to be supposed to always be about evolution and pushing boundaries and being on the cutting edge of what's new and proving old things wrong. So I think it's a bunch of BS.
Competition breeds innovation, so that's what it is. We move forward, move on. I mean, we would all be driving Ford Model Ts, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean, to both of your
the whole argument about people just moving forward and trying experimenting on new things. It's ridiculous to me.
Yeah, to both of y'all's points, that's part of what being American is like, you know what? I don't like this. I'm going to do something that I want to do that makes me happy. I'm going to move to California. I'm going to be on the other side of the country. I'm going to live by a river or hunt off the land for the rest of my life. I'm going to go off the grid. That's just, I don't know. That's my 2 cents.
You might need to now that you gave away your...
That wasn't my real address. Let's go away from that.
It's Randy's address.
Yeah.
So the collab you did with Aslan was Living to Get Radical. That was the
that's the one they came down.
Yeah,
that's the one we did when they came down. We've done I'm sorry, we did Down 95 when they came down 95 to brew with us. But yeah, we've done Living to Get Radical twice now, which is the coconut IPA.
Yes, I call it pina colada of beers. It's like the flavor profile is crazy.
Yeah, man, dude, that beer is. We're gonna keep doing that, so that's gonna be something you can look forward to for, every 6 months or so. Nice.
So let me ask you this: can you speak a little bit about I think it's Cataclysm, the glass you have, Cataclysm 4?
Oh yeah, 3.
You have that in barrels right now?
No.
Because Bryce.
No, but no, I'll tell you why is. So like I told you, man, we're on a 10-barrel system, and it takes us about 20 hours to get on a 10-barrel system. It takes us to get about 5 barrels of that beer, about 20 hours. And
goodness, so it's a super low yield, huh?
I mean, it's crazy low yield, and here we are so close to this 30-barrel production facility that, I mean, I literally tailor-made this system for Cataclysm and big stouts, man. Like, so when I told you I like the IPAs, those are a means to an end to me. It's like, yeah, I love them. I like making them and everything. But what I really enjoy doing are those like just brutal ass brew days that are so rewarding in the end. And that's our stout. It's like, here I am. Am I going to spend 40 hours to get 10 barrels of beer when I can spend 15 hours and get, 60 barrels of it? It's, no.
I got you.
Soon though.
Yes, and we'll be looking forward to more cans when that the production facility opens up and you guys start into the wild.
Yes.
readily accessible formats.
Let's hope so, man.
Yeah. So how long are we looking at for the second facility before it opens up?
I'll give you the same thing I've been saying for 4 months, 2 weeks.
2 weeks. All right.
So let me ask you, Eric, how'd you guys get into the cocktails?
Dude, so
beer, but it seems like you just such a wide variety of food and beer and cocktails.
Yeah, man. So we hired a fucking stud, mixologist, and Stefan Hubner when the place was first open. You know, Kurt kind of got lucky and found him at the right time, and he was kind of I guess I'm not really a big cocktail guy, but he was, from all accounts that I can tell, he was a pretty big name in the cocktail industry. You know, he'd been in like GQ magazine and everything, so he took a lot of pride in that whole aspect of Heist. So it was kind of like a three-headed monster. It was, the beer, the food, and the cocktails were a big part as well.
How do you feel that plays along aside with the beer that you guys have there?
I mean, it's perfect, right? I mean, beer, whiskey,
Absolutely.
barrels. I mean, it's just like,
yeah, of course.
Perfect. No, it's good because they use a lot of our beer in some of their cocktails, and it's just like a different way to utilize, the ingredients that we're making, keeping everything in house. So they use it in the food a lot. A lot of the stuff I think like 60% of the menu features a beer that we've made. So that's pretty neat.
Wow.
That'd be dope, yeah, for sure.
So, Eric, I want to ask you something that's more less about Heist and more about the craft beer industry, right? I know the Brewers Association even has a little, I don't want to say task force, but they have a committee kind of geared toward minority involvement in craft beer. Do you have a particular take on craft beer as it relates to marketing? Like, do you think that it's not marketed to minority communities because minority communities don't necessarily drink craft beer, allegedly, or do they not drink craft beer because it's not marketed to them? Because I know a ton of minorities who do drink craft beer and appreciate craft beer, but it's just not exactly, seen represented on any given brewery that you walk into across America. So what do you have any ideas on what could be done to kind of this minority involvement in craft beer?
Oh, I mean, man, I feel like beer is pretty universal, right? It's like, I don't know, man. That's a difficult question, but I know in the Charlotte drinking, the forums and everything, we've got a lot of minorities. I mean, it's pretty heavy,
Yeah.
So,
I think it's definitely increasing than it had been in the past, particularly in craft beer.
Yeah.
Because we know that beer is certain beers are marketed toward minority communities or minority drinkers. For whatever reason, hasn't been that way, and it could be because a lot of breweries don't have a set aside marketing budget. Most craft beer, unless your name is, Sam Adams or Lagunitas or Sierra Nevada or whatever, unless you're those guys, a marketing budget. Everything is word of mouth, essentially. So I think it's just going to come down to exposure, right? Exposing people to things that, or flavors and products that they may have a certain built-in perception about, or whatever. But I think exposure is making a big difference in this particular area.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it has to, it's like being a fisherman of good beer, that falls on everybody. It's, it's everybody's job as craft beer drinkers to kind of introduce as many new people as we can, regardless of what's marketed. It's
right.
Knowledge is power, and we all have it because here we are on this show talking about nerdy shit like craft beer. So we all love it, and we gotta.
Yeah. So before we let you go, you guys have any festivals coming up that you're gonna be, or you have any releases on the near horizon that you want to mention real quick before we let you get out of here?
Man, I mean, just the big is our production facility, man. Just look out for some cans. We're going to take a pretty big break. Aside from leading up to CBC this year is in Nashville. We're kind of going to lay low and not do anything. You know, we just got back from Civil Society's 2nd anniversary party and going to go down to Wake Fest eventually. But we're just going to take a pretty big break from here until there and kind of really focus more on the new project we got going on. So,
are you pouring at Wake Fest?
Yeah, we are.
What are you guys gonna be pouring?
That's a good question, man. I don't know. I would say Cataclysm. You know, it's like what everybody wants to drink, but we don't have it in barrels yet. So we'll figure something out though. We got some barrels set aside for stuff. So
I'll take that.
You gotta please the people,
Maple
man.
Junkie. I'm just saying.
Do what?
That beer was crazy.
Throwing out Maple Junkie out to the universe.
Oh man, dude, everybody seemed to really like that beer. The beer was well received. So
what was that? Uber Quenchel? I think my man Jacob sent me a.
Yeah, man. God, that's been a while, hasn't it? God.
Yeah.
A year and a half ago, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The double IPA that we did with Galaxy and Citra.
Yeah.
Yeah. Purple can.
If we happen to talk off air and that makes it to a festival or even to my house, I mean, it's just a win-win for everybody, right?
What's that address again?
I'll get to you offline.
Well, Eric, we want to thank you so much for joining us tonight, man. We appreciate you taking a little bit of time out of your schedule to come and chop it up with a couple.
Yeah, blast, man. Thank y'all for having me. It's good to meet y'all.
Pleasure is ours, man.
Cheers, man.
All right.
So,
appreciate it.
Guys, be sure to be on the lookout for our next guest. We're going to be making an announcement here pretty soon, shortly. Actually, I lied. A little bit of a break. We're going to, because of the holiday seasons and everybody with travel schedules and all that stuff, we're going to chill out a little bit until the new year. So until then, drink it up. Remember, find some good friends, find some great beer, and mind those P's and Q's.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, yeah.
Thanks, Eric.